Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Communications from Home. This is my weekly evening show right here on Star Nation's organization's main fan page at Facebook, where I do 95% of all my live streams from. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the live chat. And those that are watching by video, thank you so much for making time in your day to be with us. Tonight is Tuesday, February 11th. And it is, I've been looking forward to this show all day. Why? Is because we're calling all seekers, right? So before we get started, because you know what happens with me is I get started talking and I forget a few things. And I'm remembering this one. I'm going to send the show over to my news feed. I forgot to do that last week. All right. So we're going to send the live stream over to my newsfeed, and I invite you to do the same thing, or maybe share the love out, right? Do it over to your newsfeed, or maybe to a friend or something like that. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to post it over to my newsfeed, and my producer, Rob. Hello, Rob. Thank you for producing tonight. He's going to send it over to our closed groups, our private groups here at Star Nations, and so that the peeps are covered over there too. Yay! How was your day today? Your Tuesday? Tuesdays have always been a really, really busy day here, but I have to say this week it got kind of moved up a day. Yesterday was a very busy day. Why? Well, number one reason is because we published the Star Nations magazine yesterday, the February issue. And, we have new partners to digitize the magazine for us, issue.com. And so we're still learning all about our new partners. And so we're slowing down just a little bit, and so that we learn all those little steps in between. So it was a little bit more busy yesterday than normal, and so today was a little bit more quiet day. I'm not saying that it was not busy, it was just a little bit more quiet. All right, I just got a request from somebody. She was having problems here. So Angie, this one's for you. We're sending it over to you. Somebody said she can't find the show. So we want to make sure she finds the show, right? So we're going to send it over there. And while I'm here, I may as well send it over to a couple other people too. Doesn't take long. There we go. So here's the question for you. Are you a seeker of spiritual information? Have you spent any part of your life searching for information about your spiritual life, looking for confirmation, validation, looking for what does this mean? Have you ever done that? I certainly have. And most of us that are seekers in that way, we are avid readers. We go to classes. We're searchers. We're seekers of information, right? And I can remember way back when, and we're talking a couple of decades, way back when I first started gathering information and looking for that validation stuff, right? Anything I could get my hands on to read. I was reading 3 or 4 books at a time. And that's about the time audiobooks came out, right? On CDs. Do you remember that? So I was also fitting in audiobooks because I could listen to them in the car on my way to work and from work. And so most of the time I had the audiobook, and I had at least 2 or 3 books going on all at the same time because I was taking in so much information, right? Almost information overload. But I was like a sponge. And so tonight's show is about those of us that are seekers, those of us that have been around the block a few times, and we're still seekers, right? We might have a little bit more experience under our belt, on where to find things and how to discern that information for ourselves, right? And then there's those of us in our community that were just kind of starting out. And so I'm hoping to be able to kind of hit all the points for all of us in this show tonight. So I want to ask you a favor. If you wouldn't mind dropping in the comments the word seekers if you're a seeker, okay? Because I kind of want to see who's who in the zoo, all right? Okay, so while you're doing that, Rob, if you could start at the top and let's see who's all with us tonight. Barbara's here. Hello, Barbara. It's good to see you, lady. And thank you for sending me that question about the classes, too. I hope I was able to answer your question. So thank you, and I'm so glad that you're here with us tonight, too. Yeah. So, Barbara, are you a seeker? Let me know, okay? All right. And Cindy Lynn's here too. Oh my gosh, I love your profile picture. Wow, that's a lot of big cat energy there. Thank you for being here tonight, Cindy. Next up, Rochelle. Hello, Rochelle. Even without your name on there, I can always tell it's Rochelle. Good to have you here, Rochelle. And congratulations on that new grandbaby that you have. He's such a cutie. Such a cutie. Thank you for sharing that with me, by the way. And Rochelle, I know Rochelle's a seeker. Yep. Barbara says always, once a seeker, always a seeker, right? Because you know what? We're awake. We're awake on our spiritual path, on our earth walk here. Yep. And once you're a seeker, there's no going back. What's that old saying? Once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. That's it, right? Right. Thanks, Barbara. Yes, and Cindy Lynn saying, yes, I am a seeker and a seer. Yes, you are, lady. And to have you in our community has been a blessing, a gift to us. And bringing you into the conversation is always a blessing and a benefit for us. So thank you for being here and being a seeker. Right? All right. Yep. Rochelle says, I'm still a seeker. That's right. You are, lady. And yeah, Rochelle is one of those people in our community that you're giving a lot to the community, and I appreciate it, Rochelle. I do, because you're the one who reminds me that you've grounded, and it always sends a message to the rest of us, right? Oh yeah, I got to do my grounding. Sorry about that. I don't know. I got to turn off my notifications, I think. Thank you, Rochelle. Thank you. Rob says, they call me the seeker. Oh, no, lyrics. I've been searching high and low and high. I wouldn't get what I'm after till the day I die. And you know what? And that's not too far from the truth, is it? Because when we're spiritual seekers, do you remember the day that you realized, remembered, validated that your spiritual energy in a physical body, right? That we're immortal and that we are this spirit having a physical experience. Do you remember the day when that sunk in, when those dots connected? Do you remember that aha moment and what it felt like? Do you? Yeah, I do. I do. One of those. Hey, Angie, good to have you here. I'm so glad you sent me a message that you needed the link. So, hi there. And yes, Angie is saying she's a seeker too. You know, wouldn't you say that the Star Nations community that we are, that is one of the things that connects us, right? Is that we're seekers. We're searching, looking for that spiritual information. And when you've been around for a while and you've been at this for a while, did you ever find that some of the information you've read many, many times or seen it many times, and so you're going, okay, I know there's something else out there. Where is it? Right? So thank you, Angie. Thank you for letting us know that you're a seeker. When we get to the point where it's starting to get redundant, right? What Spirit's telling us, in my view, anyway, my 2 cents, our spiritual team, what they're telling us is that we need to go deeper. We need to take it deeper. We need to look at things from a wider perspective, right? See the whole picture as much as we possibly can, right? And so when you're feeling like you've seen it, pretty much all of it, right? That's the time to ask your team to take you deeper. Where is it? Where's the information that I need to know about for my spiritual growth that I need to take deeper? Right? And how many of you have actually done that? Please let me know, okay? Because this is a part of the conversation tonight. One of the things that I love about doing this show, especially around the publishing of our magazine, is because this was the underlying intention when I created the magazine. That I wanted a platform for those spiritual teachers to be able to get their message out, to be able to reach as many souls as possible, to be as helpful as possible to those seekers, right? And that aha moment or that moment of clarity that happens may not be the entire article, right? But it might be a sentence, a paragraph that makes you go, that's right. And you kind of sit back for a moment and you think, I didn't think of it that way. Or that is exactly what my dream was about. Or that was exactly what my meditation was about. And somebody's actually putting it into words, right? That's what our magazine was all about from the very beginning. From the very beginning. And so every month, and this fits me so good, you guys, is that I get to be a part of that creation process every month. We take all of the articles from our contributing writers, who, by the way, they're all spiritual teachers of some sort. They've all been writing for a really long time. And they were called. They answered the call of their soul to be a part of this magazine, right? And so that's what we do every month. We take their, I call it raw material, their articles, and there's magic. There's an alchemy to it. There's a process. There's a process that we use, a template, if you will, um, but it's all divinely led. Every single one of us are connected to our spiritual team. We're asking our team about information, about guidance, the whole thing from beginning to end. And I'm hoping that you guys can feel that in the magazine. In fact, if you wouldn't also mind sharing that with me, if you have that sense of that when you read the magazine, okay? And I'm going to show you a few things. If you haven't seen the magazine, that's okay. I'm going to show you a couple of things tonight, and you'll get a chance to actually experience it, okay? All right. So, Rob, why don't we get caught up with people in the chat? That was Sunday. Oh, that was Sunday. I had to stop for a minute. What was Sunday? That was Dream Interpretation Sunday. All right. Cindy Lynn says, I still have many books going on at the same time. Me too. In fact, let's see. Let's count them right now. I'm reading Clarissa Estes. I'm reading her. Actually, that's an audiobook. I'm reading another one about creativity. I think I have 3 of them, but one of them is an audiobook. And the magazine. And the magazine. Cindy Lynn's a seeker. I know. We should get something like that on a t-shirt or a mug or something, don't you think? I'm going to put Stephanie on that. She's really good at that stuff. Yeah, how many people would wear a t-shirt saying, I'm a seeker? I'm a spiritual seeker, right? Seeker. Absolutely, Barbara. Angie, she's a seeker too. There's a whole bunch of us here. I think, wouldn't you say that our population, we're pretty heavy in seekers, right? Yeah. Angelica's loving it. I'm like, oh, thank you. Thank you. My mom made this for me years ago. She hasn't made any jewelry in a long time, but thank you. There are some earrings that go with it too, but yeah, they're not very comfortable. I need new hooks in there. because they need to be stainless steel or surgical steel, right? Yeah, so I need to get some new ones in there. So thank you. Thank you. I know turquoise is my birth color too. Julie's here. Hello, Julie. Julie Hedges is in the house. Julie is one of our contributing writers. She is also a live stream show host for us, and it's always good to have this lady in the house. Thank you, Julie, for being here. And you know, Julie is also a seeker. She's a seeker, and I don't know, Julie. Did you hear what I said about how we work with our spiritual teams when we're putting together the magazine? Yeah. I have to tell you, all of the writers are connected to their spiritual team as they're writing. Much of the writing that comes through is channeled writing. Yeah. So yeah, Julie's got Cosmic Conversations. I love that title. Thank you, Julie. Stephanie's here too. Jeez, got off the phone just in time. Divine timing, divine timing. Stephanie, did you hear that? I said, I didn't know you were in the house. I think we should do something about the word seeker, whether we do some memes or maybe a design that we can have put on mugs, or, maybe have the Star Nation's North Star and the word seeker going across, right? I could see that, right? Instead of having the magazine, maybe we have Star Nations and then have the word seeker going across. Stephanie is a very, very creative person. I'm sure she can come up with something. Some sort of meme would be great too. Thank you, Stephanie. And you're great. You're a great grandma, just like I'm a great aunt. I love that title because I'm a great aunt. Oh my gosh. And congratulations, Rochelle. He's a beautiful baby. Cindy Lynn says, thank you. Always been my spirit. Oh, that's why there's so much energy behind it. Okay. That answers that one. Thank you for sharing that, Cindy Lynn. Can you guys feel, I don't know if you guys can see that, but can you feel that energy coming off that picture? It's like, wow. Big cat energy. Oh, you're going to make me cry in a good way, right? I haven't made anybody cry in a bad way since I was, I don't know, 9 or 10. Cindy Lynn says she was 6 when she started seeking. Oh my goodness. Yep. Lisa's here. Hello, Lisa. She says, I was seeking you and I found you. And I'm so glad you did, Lisa. And Lisa lives in my state. She lives about an hour and a half or hour and 20 minutes from me. Yeah. So thank you, Lisa, for being here and being a part of the community and a part of the conversation, that you're an active participant. And so I appreciate that. I do. Cindy Lynn. I love that. Barb says, I have gone deeper and I thought then get lost. No, can't get lost. Because your spiritual team's with you all the time, 24/7, 365. They're always there. Always, always, always. Sometimes you decide to take another path, the long way home, so to speak, the scenic drive, right? Yeah, but you'll always get to the right destination. Always. Right? Depends on what kind of experience you signed up for. I know. I think I signed up for the commuter, in the fast lane, because things for me happen fast, usually, when we're doing the creation stuff. Now, it doesn't mean that because I've done the Dark Night of the Soul stuff at least twice, and I thought that was never going to end. But, I learned a lot from it too. So thank you for sharing, Barbara, about going deeper, because I think that whenever we feel like, we've seen it all, we read it all, and we're getting kind of bored with it, then we need to take it deeper, because there's so much more there, right? Yeah. Thank you, Barbara. That's right. You keep going. Keep going. Stephanie's saying, on the full moon, I released 6 lessons I had outgrown and embraced 6 lessons to fill the vacuum of those released. And wow, my world started exploding with possibilities. Isn't that fun? Kind of scary, I would imagine, but you need to be grounded, right? Grounded and protected. And then you can enjoy the ride. Enjoy it because it really is about the journey. It really is. So good for you, Stephanie. And then going deeper, right? Because I know that you've taken the time to really do that inner healing. And we all need to do that. We all do. Yeah. All right. Well, hello, Christina. Good to have you here. Christina, it's good to always have you in the house. I have like 10. All right. That sounds good, Cindy Lynn. Sounds good. 10's a good number. Yep. And Rochelle's game. Yep. I would. Like, what would you wear? Me, I'd be wearing yoga pants and a t-shirt. Yay. If it's on Stephanie's list, eventually she will get to it. She's a lot like me in that way. It's going to go on the list. It might take me a while, but I'm going to get to it. I'll get it done. Yeah. Thank you, Stephanie. Kimberly, hello, Kimberly from across the pond. She says, Seeker for sure. I know you are. And she is also a spiritual teacher, and she also does travel, like travel agent stuff over in Europe. So, yeah, taking us to those sacred places, right? Andy said, I'd wear the t-shirt. Me too. Me too. It'd have to be a V-neck, though, because I don't like the crew neck stuff. Feels like I'm getting choked. Lisa says, first day of retrograde, and I worked on a piece around fear. I wrote a spell with my inner child to dispel fear and wrote fear on a bay leaf and burned it. Very powerful. Oh, my goodness. Good work. Good work, Lisa. And, doing our inner work that way, it's always good. And tapping in to the energy that's a gift for us, right? I know Mercury retrograde, it does get a bad reputation, right? We always kind of focus in on the negative stuff, but it's got a lot of good stuff for us too. We just have to turn our attention to it. And you did, Lisa. So thanks for sharing that. Rob, we're going to pause here just for a second. If you could bring up the cover of the magazine. Right here. So you guys are going to hear a little bit of the backstories too of this issue. Yeah. Okay. So one of the topics for this issue was about Lunar New Year. And so many, we kind of covered that a little bit last month too, because the Chinese New Year started in January, right? But Lunar New Year ends actually next week. I'm sorry, this week on the 15th. So this coming Saturday. And so I was looking for pictures about any kind of lunar celebration, any kind. And the one that I was most drawn to was the lantern, the fire lanterns. And this one happens to be a picture that was taken in Chiang Mai, Thailand. There's another one that's a little bit more dramatic, but the contrast in colors didn't make it a very good cover picture. But this one did, because I just loved the look, the awe on this lady's face, right? And there's a whole ceremony behind the lighting of the torches and sending the lanterns up. And much of it is the same as any other new year, really. It's about retrospection, right? Looking at the year that you're just leaving, the things that went well, the things that didn't go so well, the things you want to release and let go of. And then you take a little time to think about, what do you want to bring into the new year, right? And so these lanterns are all about that. And I have to tell you, I would love to participate in this ceremony at some time. Has anybody in the chat ever participated in this particular kind of ceremony? I know that, it's done in a lot of Asian countries, and I know that it's been brought over to the United States. So wouldn't surprise me if there are some of our community members that have experienced this ceremony. So that's why we use this particular picture for the cover. Yeah, and actually, I found this picture last month, and so we had some time to kind of play with it, and do some moving around and font color and that sort of thing. And so our partners at Elf Elm Publishing, they are our layout specialists, our graphic artists, and I call them my elves, and they have elfish magic. They can take a photo and do some magic to it and make it pop. They can. And so, this is some of the creative work that they do there. And the selection of the font kind, the lettering, the color. My sister-in-law is a part of that, and so is my niece. It's their business. And I have to tell you that my sister-in-law, she has been working with Adobe InDesign for like 25 years or more. And so she knows that inside and out, and she does it really well. Love this cover. Love that cover. And let's see, I gotta look at something here on my computer. Okay, good. So the cover, there again, it starts out with just looking through pictures, lots and lots of pictures. And I'm talking to my spiritual team. It's like, it's time to sit down and find the image for the cover for this coming month. And so my team and I sit down and they show me where to go, and we pick out some pictures, and then it's all about, where do I feel this? Where do I feel the energy coming off this picture, right? And I told you the reason why I chose this one is because the energy coming from the woman and how she's looking at the lantern, right? I love it. All right. So that's the cover. And if you could bring up the next one. Next photo. Oh my goodness. All right. Got to get my notes out for this one. This is Ed Langdon's article, and his article is entitled Be My Own Valentine. Be My Own Valentine. So one of the topics was about the Valentine's Day coming up, right? And what I loved about Ed's article is that it's about tapping into the collective energy of Valentine's Day, right? But dialing it in, focusing it on self-love. And how do we love ourselves? How is that defined for you, the reader? And so with Ed's article, he shared about how incredibly important self-love is. And not just for this time of year, but all year long, right? All year long. And that it can influence and improve all of our relationships. When we have a good relationship and a healthy relationship with ourselves, then we can have healthy and good relationships with other people, right? Yeah, because for me, when I read his article, and let me tell you, I get to read these articles like 3 or 4 times. So the first time I went through the article, what it reminded me of was as within, so without, right? That it starts within first, and then it gets reflected to our outside world, right? And so when we love ourselves, it's so much easier to have love for someone else and a lot of compassion. Now, here's something that we added brand new to Ed's article, to his column, Life Wisdom with Ed Langdon. Ed is all about the law of attraction and also about sacred geometry. And so we've always used sacred geometry in his branding for his show and also for his article. But this month, we actually had it put in the layout, the sacred geometry in the background. I don't know if you can see that. In the background, underneath Life Wisdom with Ed Langdon, is Metatron's Cube. Yep, Metatron's Cube, which has all the building blocks of all life. Right? Yeah. So when you take a look at his article, you'll feel and see the sacred geometry in the background. Yeah. So you're going to have to let us know when you read Ed's article if it touched you in any way, okay? To help us to maybe have one of those aha moments about our own self-love and how we take care of ourselves, and how when we're able to love ourselves that we can have deeper and more meaningful and healthier relationships with others. Yeah, it's a good one. I like it. So let's go to the next one. I'm going to do one more, and then we're going to pause and get some comments going, okay? All right. So this next one, I like the pictures that this author found. This contributing writer is Adrienne Campbell, and the name of her column is The Witch's Cauldron. Now, Adrienne happens to be a solitary witch, and her strength, her gifts lie in herbology. She knows a lot about herbs and about potions. Okay. And so what she wrote about this was, it's in the cards, and she's also very adept at the tarot cards. And so her article is all about her journey with connecting with the cards. Loved the story about getting her very first deck. And how many of us have walked into a store because you're feeling drawn, right? You're feeling drawn to something in the store, and you think, or it's on your list of things to get, is a tarot deck, right? Her first trip into the particular store, she couldn't find the cards, couldn't find them. And yet she knew they were there, couldn't find them. She found other things to buy, but didn't find them. Her second trip into the same store, she ran across the deck that chose her. How many people have had that experience where the deck of cards have chosen them? I mean, that's how I've gotten almost all of my decks, right? Especially this one. And so she tells us the story in here. And I have to say that it's about that connection of being that seeker. She stuck with it, and she knew it was there. She knew it was there. She could feel it. And when the divine timing happened, it happened very easily, very smoothly. She was talking to the store owner and said she was in there before and couldn't find them. And this time, there they were. And that particular deck stuck out to her, and that's the one that she had bought. And he said that they've always been there, have never been moved. Right? And so when the first time I read that article, I was thinking to myself, this is going to validate experiences for a lot of people, because almost all of us have experienced it at one time or another, right? So this is a good article. And I love the picture with the sage, and in the background, I don't know if you can see it in the picture, is amethyst along with her cards. Yeah, good. I don't know how many people are Wiccan in the live chat. So if you are, please let us know, because we're very eclectic here, very eclectic, and we want to make sure that we have something for you, right? And so Adrienne happens to be the one who's writing the most right now about a pagan Wiccan background and lifestyle. I hope you like her article. Yeah. Did I tell you that the magazine is available in digital? I don't think I did. Digital, PDF, web viewer, and print on demand. Right? So however you like to read, we have the magazine in that version for you. There's some people who like to download it and have it on their hard drive. There's other people who don't like to do that, so we have it in the cloud for you. There's other people who only like to read it digitally, right? And so with our new partners, you can do that from any one of your devices. You have to, if you're using your phone or your tablet, you have to download their free app. But you can read it anywhere on any one of your devices. That's one of the reasons I went with our new partners. Yay. Okay, Rob, why don't we bring up some of the, get caught up with the comments. Julie's got flowers. Yay. Kimberly is saying hi to everybody. Hello, Kimberly. Julie says, yes, my articles come from spirit. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. You can feel it. Rob is saying, as fate would have it, I'm finding myself having to read Ken Wilber to be able to keep up with our keyboard player. Really? Interesting. Barbara, she says, I love the term spiritual team. I have guides and guardians I hear from, get directions. Is that the same? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Spiritual team, for me, means more than just a couple. Okay, because we all have it. We all have a multitude of spiritual team members. So you have your guardian angel, right? You have your power animals, your totems, you have your spirit guides, you have your spirit teachers, right? A whole bunch. The ancestors, yeah, star beings. So we have more than just a couple. And I know that we all have our go-tos, right? We all do. But when we're working on something, especially if you're going deeper and you're asking for help to go deeper, to make sure that you call on your entire team. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to know every single one of them by their first name, because they don't care. Really, they don't. It's more about the feeling them, how they feel. Yeah, and asking the entire team, right? And the entire team to make sure that we're utilizing their energies and what they're showing us to the best of our abilities, right? That's what it's all about. But good question, Barb. Good question. Next. Cindy Lynn says, I'm going to have to message you with a story. Okay. All right. That's good. PM me. That's all right. Love good stories. She says, too long to put here in the comments. Okay. That's good. I'll look forward to it. Julie says, I had a spiritual aha at about age 25 when I hit the wall. Been there. With the spiritual tradition of my youth. It was a crisis of sorts, catapulting me into big seeking. Now, after wandering and wondering within many traditions, the teachings of my youth make sense. Oh, that is wonderful. It's kind of like doing a walkabout, isn't it? You know, when you have to go and experience life, right? And then you get to discern, you know, is that for me? Is that a truth for me? Right? Yes, thanks for sharing that, Julie, because you know what? I think almost every one of us have done that. I know I have. You know, when something occurs and you think, oh, I remember that. Like, for instance, we were told never to whistle at night. And I always thought it was they're just trying to scare us. You know, get in from outside, get inside, and it's dark out. And come to find out, years later, I learned that that's how you call spirit. Now, my mom and my grandmother would only say, "You never know who you're calling to you. Stop doing that." Right? So, but they never talked to us about intention. So, so it was good. I know what you mean, Julie. Thank you for sharing that. It's good. And see, and that's the thing about going deeper, right? Is taking it deeper and having even the courage to do that, especially when it's stepping out of the comfort zone and stepping away from your childhood beliefs. Yeah. Smart lady. Lisa says, Neshi, you are glowing brighter than the moon. Ah, thank you. Thank you. I feel really good tonight. I do. I'm feeling really good. The diabetes thing, I'm getting a handle on it, and my energy is bouncing back. So I'm glad you can see it. Thank you. Cindy Lynn says, yes, been going through another transition phase, lots of restless energy. Mm-hmm. And especially when you have this full moon, right? It's even more prevalent. It's bigger, right? Yeah. Salt baths, those are helpful. Those are helpful. Enough to even get you relaxed too. Yeah. Julie saying, Lisa Crawford, you'd be comfortable sharing your spell on the community page. Oh, that's a good one, Julie. Yeah. Think about that, Lisa. If you feel comfortable in sharing that, you can do that if you want a little bit more, not so much public, because remember, this is a public page. Okay. You can go to the private page or private group. And if you want to put it there, that would be good if you would. She says, yes, I could. This is the main Star Nations page. Yes, this is the main business page, which is a public page. Okay. The Star Nations live stream shows private group is where I do the dream interpretation show. And so it's a little bit, it's just the community there. Okay. All right. Thank you, by the way, Lisa, if you do that. Love the glow of the cover. Me too. Me too. I'm so, and a lot of times Spirit will only give me one image, one photo to work with. There's other times when I have three, maybe four, and so that's when I bring it to the community and I ask you guys to vote on it because I like them all. They could all work really well. But I think that's a way that my spiritual team allows us to work to create together, right? And so a lot of that's I think that's happened last year, maybe three times, maybe four. I know. So thanks, Julie. Yeah. Mhm. Rob Sains, Wilfred Brimley. Okay, Wilfred Brimley would be proud of you. Oh, Rob. That means so much to me. Kimberly said, you wouldn't believe what I've been doing tonight, clearing clutter. You have? Then did you read, or I'm sure you haven't, I don't know if you've gotten your copy yet, because you do the print, right? You might not have gotten it yet. Read um, minis. In fact, let's bring that one up, Rob. We'll kind of jump out of order a bit. Let's read, let's see Minnie's article. Yeah, here we go. Minnie Kansman, one of my sisters, she has been contributing to anything and everything Star Nations since the very beginning, since 2012, actually. And so her column is called Nature Adventures, which, by the way, is going to be tuned up a bit starting in April, maybe March. It's going to be called Nature Connections. Nature Connections. And because she's going to be getting a bump up in her show, she's going to be calling it Nature Connections, and she's taking on the full hosting of that show. Yay! I'm so excited for her. So this month in her column, she wrote about clutter clearing. And I have to tell you, Minnie is an expert at clutter clearing. Now, she's also a student. She loves learning new stuff and new tricks. And of course, she talks about Marie Kondo and actually gives us some other books with a little synopsis of them, and the ones that she is suggesting about clutter clearing. But see, Minnie comes at clutter clearing from not just a spiritual point of view, but from a feng shui point of view, and then also from a I don't know if she would call it shamanic, but I do. Yeah, it's a very deep understanding of what we're doing when we're doing clutter clearing, because what we're really doing is we're doing a space clearing. Yeah. So you have to read her article about clearing clutter. She tells us that she tells us about her journey with clutter clearing. And so she's also okay, she's a feng shui teacher, she's a feng shui master, but she's also considers herself a feng shui student still. All right. And so in her article, you're going to find little nuggets of wisdom connected to clutter clearing and why it's a good thing to do clutter clearing in a certain way. Okay. Because our homes are a metaphor for our lives. So there's certain places that you want to clear out if you're working on certain things, right? Yeah. So it's a good one. It's a good one. And Minnie and I have done a couple of shows on clutter clearing in the past. And so if you want to check out the YouTube channel that we have for Star Nations, and if you look through Alchemy in a Modern World, that was the name of our old show. Those are still out there. So if you want to take a look at those. Okay. All right. So clutter clearing. So we can go back to the comments, Rob. I got to keep watch of the time here.
We're caught up.
All right. We're caught up. Yay. Good one. All right. So then let's bring up Herman. Herman the rat. Okay, this particular, oh, we got to flip it around. You want me in the small picture there we go. All right, so our resident animal communicator, Leslie Ciranisi, her article this month was about Year of the Rat. And the play on that is Herman the Rat. Now, this isn't exactly Herman, but she wanted me to help her find a picture of a cute rat. Not a scary rat, but a cute rat. And so I did. And so for those of us that may have rodent fears, this is something to help you kind of face that fear a little bit in a good way, right? In a good way. But you have to read this article. It is so sweet. It is so sweet. All right. So Herman is a pet rat that Leslie got to know and got to help out a bit to assist him. Okay, so he was helping out at a dog agility expo kind of thing. Okay, and this is where the dogs certain breeds are used in a competition kind of way because they're looking for the rat. Okay, now the rat is safe. It is in a container, right? So the dogs can't hurt it. But the dogs they're bred to find rats, and so okay. But in the story, what happened is that somebody dropped poor Herman's container, and so you have to read the article to find out the conversation that Leslie had with Herman and the relationship that Herman has. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I promise you, it has a very good ending, and we get to learn a little bit about a rat who is a sweetie. Okay, so Herman the rat. Now you have to, Leslie in her communication with animals of all kinds, she has shared so much of her life and experience, and the relationships that she's built over the years as a communicator. And she's coming to Wisconsin in April. She's going to be in Madison. And I can't remember the name of it's a horse something or other. It's an annual, and it's at the Alliant Energy building for those of us in Wisconsin. If you'd like to visit Leslie and get to know her a bit, yeah, Herman the Rat. I hope you guys enjoy it. Enjoy Herman. Okay, next up is Polly Jo LeBay. And her article, in her column, Chakra Sessions, is all about clear communication in relationships. Okay. Now here, oh my gosh, she has a writing partner. And for the last, I would say 6 months, 6 issues, the Ancient One, and for those of you who have experienced the Ancient One in Polly Jo's shows, the Chakra Session show, and also Soul Connections. Okay. The Ancient One has been channeling information for the article. So both Polly Jo and the Ancient One co-write this. And this one, the Ancient One really is sharing about relationships and how we communicate in a way that helps us to understand why it's important to work toward having clear communication. He says that when we're consciously aware and choosing to speak from our hearts, all of our relationships shift and become more loving. And how many times have we heard that? But when you read it in this particular article, and the energy that's coming through from the Ancient One, it was one of those things for me that it was like, oh, that's going to touch a lot of people. Could feel it that how it was going to resonate with a lot of people. Because we've heard it maybe many times, but there's that one time, right, that we hear it and it's like, oh, the light bulb goes on, the switch was pulled, and we started connecting dots. That's in here. I do believe. Gotta read it. Excuse me. Got a little bit of a tickle. All right. So next up is Orchard Franklin. Oh my God. All right. Under the Mystery School column, Orchard Franklin writes about love and compassion. She tells us the historical background of Cupid, of St. Valentine's. Okay. It's a good article because it's taking all of this information, putting it into the spiritual realm to help us understand what the energy is all about around Valentine's and how we're tapping into that, or how we can tap into that energy, right? And she gave us a brand new guided meditation in here. So there is an audio. Let's see, there's a link for the audio, and also there's a link for, I turned it into a YouTube because sometimes those are easier to deal with. Technology, right? And so, yeah, I have a feeling you guys are just going to love the new meditation that she includes with this. And it was so much fun finding the music to go with it. And like I said, I get to read these things several times. And so the meditation I got to hear like 3 times, 4 times. Yeah, it's a good one. It really is. So I hope you guys enjoy that. It's all about absolute love. Yeah, raising that vibration, right? Okay, we have one more. All right. So I don't know. Have you guys ever watched or heard about how movies are made? Because when we see a movie, it's linear, right? But the way they make a movie, it's not linear. That's the magazine. So I might get articles that come in early and I'll start working on them, and then I'll work on the cover for a little bit, and then, and so it's not a linear process. This is the last page of the cover, the back cover of the magazine. And a lot of times the back cover is already done before the cover is done. And how can that be? Well, it's because I already have the highlights for each month. I do that for the entire year, right? So I already have that. The fun part for me is finding the quote, and it's a Native American quote. And this year, I'm going to try to really kind of focus on Native women. If I can find them, I'm going to do it. And I'm Native women, not just to Turtle Island, but the entire world. Okay. And then the astronomy picture that gets selected to go with it. I have so much fun with this, you guys. I have so much fun. And it's always been on my list of things to do, to turn the back covers into a calendar. Yeah. So fingers crossed is that we'll be able to get that done this year for you guys. Wouldn't that be fun? I think so. Yay. Yay. All right. So Rob, if you could also put up the link to the magazine. Okay. And if you could put it into the comments, that would be good too. And while you're working on that, I can talk about this a little bit. This is another thing we've been working on. You guys, the first class was last night with Maureen Mann. And that was Angelic Assistance with Manifesting. Holy smokes, that was a good class. It is recorded, and if you haven't registered yet for the bundled class, you can still do that. And you get the recorded classes that come if you come in to it late, okay? There is no deposit kind of thing with the bundled. If you want to be a part of the class, you can pay the registration and you're going to get the entire classes. The fun part and the conversational part is if you're in the live class, okay? But look who's coming up in March, the 21st. What a great day, right? This is Ed Langdon. He's going to be teaching about true creation and the law of attraction. How many of us had tried the law of attraction and found it frustrating when we first started with it? And then you read a little bit more and you try it again. You read a little more and you were trying it again. Well, Ed, tapping, tapping, and also talking about what makes it a creation, right? And there's a little something that each one of the teachers are doing as a bonus. Each one of them, including me, we're putting together guided meditations for you guys as a bonus. So Maureen's is already done. Those are going to be downloaded soon. And Ed's is going to be a video, and he's leading us through a special tapping. Both Holly Joe and I are going to do guided meditation. So those are bonuses, including the class. Okay. So this one's coming up. I hope you guys can join us. Just go to Star Nation's website, click on the Academy button, and all the information's right there. Okay. All right. So back to the magazine. And so, where do you go to get the magazine, right? Now, when you get the magazine, one of the things that I'd like to ask you to do, right, is sense, feel, see how the energy is for you when you have the magazine in your energy field, right? Um, can you sense the underlying energy within the magazine? Can you sense how we're really in this together? All of our spiritual teams are working together on this, right? And so you can get the magazine by going to our website. Once you get to the website, you're going to see two different ways you can get the magazine. You can get it on print on demand over at our partners at MagCloud. There's a link there. You just click on the link and they'll take you to MagCloud. If you want it digital for any one of your devices, click on issue.com link. It's a button there, and it will take you to issue.com where you can purchase that for $2.99. Okay. Now, the print on demand is a little bit more expensive. It's going to run you about $20 with shipping. And I say about because we do keep it under 60 pages. 60 and usually it's around 60 to 55 pages, and with that what you're paying for is the color printing, really. Okay, so that's how you get the magazine. I really hope that you enjoy it, and please let me know your reaction to it, and anything you'd like to share with me about it, that would be great too. How do you get a hold of me? You can find me here on Facebook. You can private message me. You can go to the website. There's a contact list there, and you can send me a email through there. Okay. All right. So with that, I want to thank you so much for joining me for Communications from Home right here at Star Nations Organization's main fan page. I'm your host, Neshi Lokotz, wishing you a good rest of your Tuesday evening. And we will see you back here next week, next Tuesday evening, for Communications from Home at 8 p.m. Eastern Time with my guest, Aaron Carapelli. He's a map maker, and he has me on one of his maps. And so we're going to talk about inspiring Indigenous women on his maps. So join us for that, okay? All right. Bamamina, that's Potawatomi for until we see each other again. I love you guys.